Now, we talked about forgiveness. Now, last week we talked about forgiveness and defined that is to give someone what? A gift before, to give someone a gift before they deserve it. Now, when we look at this, when we look at forgiveness, to give somebody a gift before they deserve it, what does this have to do with processing anger so that I'm not caught up in this situation? Remember, we started out, this morning, I'm sitting in the office, right? Me and my wife, we got issues, we got problems. I'm angry. I'm upset. Now, I've been processing and applying this law because I got this in my heart around her and my relationship with her, right? And I can see in me that there's certain things that she can say that set me off. We were in a discussion, and we were talking about visitation and going back and forth with the baby. And my wife said, I will allow you to have her every other weekend. Now, when I heard that statement, what happened? Now, I felt it, and I had the opportunity to choose how I would respond to that. I could have responded, allow. What the hell are you talking about, allow? You going to allow me to see my daughter? I could have jumped up and done what?
Slap and taste out of mouth.
Now, what would that have got me? I wouldn't be here right now. That's right.
That's true.
Y'all be like, what happened to Brother Muhammad? I thought he was going to do the group today.
It would have been justified.
Now, I've been dealing with this. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, everything that we deal with in the focus groups, they don't just come out the blue. We be dealing with stuff that I'm dealing with and that we are dealing with in the moment, on time. See, this is everybody, when we talked about, we said, well, how do you deal with anger? How do you deal with anger? You know how I deal with anger? I get up here and I talk about the stuff I'm going through in this group. And in doing that, that's my therapy. That's the way I release. That's the way, because see, I had to look at it and I said, man, okay, that upset me. So how am I going to deal with it? I had a piece of paper in my hand and I did this. And I wrote this on the piece of paper. And I tore it out of my notebook and I gave it to my wife. And I said, what does that word mean to you?
What'd she say?
She said, and the mediator asked her, what's on the paper? And my wife said, allow. And the mediator kind of chuckled. And
A female mediator.
is a female.
See?
And so my wife said, to let, to control. I said, oh, okay. And so the mediator started talking. And she said, do you understand what he's saying to you? That there is a problem because the whole issue, and I said, yeah, because the whole thing that we're dealing with in here is this. Control. Control. What this defense mechanism is trying to do what? Control. The external forces to put up a force for, like, them old pictures where you had a spaceship and the spaceship put out that force field and it don't matter whatever you shoot at it, everything bounce off of it. It's like I'm trying to control the situation so that I can't get hurt and put out this force field, right? This whole thing is about control because what? When you're dealing with anger, whenever you see anger in yourself or anger in others, know that underneath that anger is fear, and underneath that fear is pain. Pain. Anger is only like the tip of the iceberg. Anger is what you see. Anger is like what's above the water. But under this anger is a much larger substructure. The anger is just what's at the top. The fear is much bigger, and the pain is even bigger than that. Now, what you got to realize, what we have to realize, and what I've been trying to practice is to give someone a gift before they deserve it. Now, who's the first person that I'm giving a gift to? In that situation, who am I giving a gift to? You might say, well, you giving your wife no, I'm not giving, I'm giving a gift to who?
How you giving it to yourself?
Because if I'd have slapped the taste out of her mouth, where would I be right now? So I'm giving myself a hell of a gift, ain't I? Freedom. I'm giving myself the gift of freedom. When I have. Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna need a security. I think that door is closed. Or just write it on a sheet of paper. So this gift that I'm giving myself is the gift of freedom. And when I did this, when I wrote that on the paper, when I expressed it, because see, I have a feeling now. When we said emotional intelligence, when you put them together, we talked about obeying the internal indications of how your system is processing energy, right? My anger was an indication of something. My anger was an indication that my system was processing on a level that was less than what? Love. Because all of what we've received all our life is people not being loving, giving us less than love, and anything that's less than love is tainted with what? So I had the choice of whether I wanted to respond less than love. If I wanted to respond out of hate, I could have done that. But I made a choice of responding out of what? Because, number one, I don't want to be in the county. Number two, I want my wife to be able to not feel the need to, or that that I am attempting to do what? To control. So I have to speak to her in a way that says, I'm not angry, I'm not upset. Even I say, you know what? If I say it, because the way I feel right now, because I feel irritated and I feel upset, it's going to come out in my voice.
Yeah, you had to write it down.
So I chose to write it down. Why? Because I obeyed what I felt my energy system processing. My energy system, I was experiencing less than love. So when you experience less than love, Mike, should you express that? Or should you say, you know what? Let me back up for a second. Let me not express that, because any expression that's less than love, any expression of hate, is anything positive. The anger of man does not work the righteousness of God. And that's what the scriptures say. See, if you're angry and you acting on anger, you can't produce nothing that's right.